Hectic week for the Tater Tots. Starting off right at the top, they were not so sadly exposed to a gas attack in their prison cell, and I know what you're thinking, but no, it wasn't due to either of their prolapsed anuses from, natural jail occurrences. I mean, we know how big of fans they are of sodomy after all. But no, it was actually due to something completely unrelated, as you see here. Their lawyer, Joe McBride, or as I like to call, Inflate Tate, because that's what he looks like. He looks like a version of Andrew Tate. But he tweeted out yesterday what they did to Andrew and Tristan Tate on Sunday. Andrew and Tristan Tate remain in the special housing unit at the FDC Miami. They have seen the sun only 4 times since July 18th. Oh, boo-hoo. On Sunday, guards deployed OC spray in the shoe. My clients Andrew and Tristan had nothing to do with the incident. They were locked in their cells when it happened. The guards had gas masks. Andrew and Tristan, however, were afforded no such luxury. Locked in a cell with nowhere to go, the chemical spray quickly filled the shoe, poured into their cells, and burned their eyes, throats, and airways. To protect themselves, Andrew and Tristan wet their t-shirts in the shower and wrapped their eyes and heads in the shirts as best they could. The Bureau of Prisons' own regulation demands immediate medical examination and treatment. The Department of Justice owner manual says the first aid of this chemical is fresh and copious amounts of cool water. Andrew and Tristan received no air, no water, no doctor, no nurse. 2 men convicted of no crime in any country on earth wrapped wet t-shirts around their faces, sat in chemical cloud, and waited. You do not have to take my word for it. 2 hours later, my co-counsel Tom Maniotis arrived at the facility for a legal visit. The air was still so toxic that his eyes burned and he struggled to breathe. Thomas cut the meeting short and agreed to come back in 2 hours to give time for the chemicals to clear out. We can skip ahead just a little bit. Instead of the safekeeping the law requires, Andrew and Tristan are being horribly punished. 4 hours of sunlight in 3 weeks, bunks too short for their bodies, no pillows, legal meetings in rooms monitored by cameras, and now a chemical agent in the cells with no help afterwards. Yada yada yada, and he ends with this hilarious AI generated picture of them in their cell with gas fumes and the towels wrapped around their faces. And I can't help but to notice Tristan's isn't even around his face. I mean, that kind of defeats the whole point of the wet t-shirt, am I right? I mean, he looks like he's cosplaying No Face from Spirited Away. But yeah, so this is obviously a huge appeal to emotion, try to get the feels going, get the empathy going for these two. Has had little to no effect. I mean, a couple of people showed up with signs outside of the prison, but that's about it. Maybe one of their 2 fans left can, send them some commissary, some Vicks vapor rub, or, an N95 mask or something like that. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? But yeah, this is all just theatrics. It's all an attempt to get people in an uproar, oh, they can't be treated this way, so that they cause a disturbance in the extradition of them going back to the UK, where they can actually be tried and hopefully convicted, which is what they desperately don't want to happen, because that's where they have, the highest chances of getting a conviction. In Romania, the case was completely botched. In America, they're not facing any charges currently that we know of, so the UK is where they're pretty much guaranteed to be completely fucked. So yeah, that's what they're doing here. Another interesting tweet from their lawyer also yesterday. Absolutely hilarious how Tate hating morons refused to understand that his belt video was a skit. Restarts with a slap video. And of course this is the skit in question. Yeah, this is
say it like you mean it. Say it like you mean it.
A skit.
Message one other guy ever
apparently
together and not together. You understand me? Do you understand me? Say it then. Say I understand. Say it like you say it again. Say I understand.
I mean, if this is a skit, then that is like some Oscar-worthy acting right there. You got him yelling, full force swinging that belt. She's like borderline crying. It's even blurred out. Wow, they really went all out for this this skit. I don't know what kind of skit could require all this. Perhaps the violent pimp, trapped prostitute skit from all of our childhoods that we know and love.
Well, my friend, take a look. Show everyone how pretty you are. Get on your knees and show everyone how pretty you are.
Keep in mind, he's 25 at the time, and she's either 14 or 15.
Show the camera your tattoo.
That's nice, huh?
What does it say?
Tate.
Why does it say Tate?
Because I'm his whore.
You are my whore.
Yes.
Get my pimp stick. You're gonna kiss my whore. Why's your ass got a bruise on it?
The other classic, of course, 14-year-old tattoos your name on her and calls herself your whore. There's obviously an explanation there for that one. It's
Go tell the camera that I beat you and you don't do as I say.
With what?
Do as I say.
What are you moaning about, woman?
Bruises.
Bruises, why? Why?
Getting beaten.
Beaten with what? With what?
Your hands.
she's literally hiding away. I mean, there's 3 minutes straight of this shit.
Run out my ideas. That's right, lock the door, you. You knew I was going to beat the out of you. If you behaved, I wouldn't have to hit you, would I? You don't.
So this girl is clearly scared for her life. She runs into a room and locks the door, and he's pissed, right? I don't know. I'm at a loss, man. What skit calls for this type of behavior?
Get out. You can't stay in there forever.
So yeah, real classy stuff there. And this comes on the back of their own spokesperson literally turning on them because she couldn't handle their idiocy. Let's take a look.
Okay, so her name is Matea Petrescu. I'm a girl from the butthole of Romania who does PR, and I was asked to do
This looks like a nose job, bandage.
the PR for the highest profile legal case. You don't say no to that, not where I'm from. She was not asked to sign an NDA, an oversight the brothers are likely to regret. And Petrescu now, guys, get this, is also writing a book titled Unmanageable, documenting her time with them, basically selling them out. The reason she quit, she says, is because Andrew Tate stopped listening to her advice and became impossible to control. There were many occasions when, after devising a strategy to help the brothers salvage their reputation, she would wake up to see ill-judged tweets, such as the time that Andrew Tate had asked Petrescu get them some positive press during a visit to Hong Kong, but then he posted about how very few black people are in Hong Kong and how much of a great place it is, which is crazy for him to make that tweet, considering that I believe his dad is black. It becomes such a caricature, she says. There were so many moments where they could have pivoted, but they chose this path again and again and again. It was such ridiculousness. It meant I could not do my job. How are you asking your publicist, please help me with good press? But the next morning you're literally tweeting, very few black people in Hong Kong, what a great place.
These guys literally cannot help themselves. They just their egos are so big that they can't even take the advice from their own paid counsel. They feel like they can make it through anything and talk their way out of anything. It's ridiculous.
Petrescu found two men operating off impulse, whim, and knee-jerk reactions. She says despite their misogynistic and racist posts online, they were desperate for positive publicity secretly behind closed doors. They set up a charitable arm called the Tate Pledge to basically help children in need. But what was happening is that the brothers were then telling Petrescu, the publicist, essentially fake information.
So they're running out of money. They're desperate for good publicity. They're doing fake charity to create this illusion of them being good guys. There's nothing real about these motherfuckers. And I fell for this shit. I'll own that. A couple years ago, I fell for it. I knew they were up to some bad stuff, but they just have this way of talking that they can hypnotize the young male youth.
But I was putting stuff that wasn't verified in press releases because my clients told me it was true. Verified or not, surely the Tates didn't think a few charity donations could help build a positive image. She claims to only have seen some women coming in and out in a very consensual way. And she also says, I'm Romanian, so I'm desensitized. Loads of Romanians work in the webcam business. The brothers respected her, but only to some degree, because they didn't really care for her opinion as much, or nor did it carry as much as weight because she's a woman. But then you've hired her as your publicist, so that doesn't make any sense either. She says in a business, he was also the one out of the entire team who made the most sense. Whenever things would get really unbearable, I would go on a private chat and sort it out with Andrew. Ultimately, she thinks he doesn't understand the responsibility that comes with the magnitude of what this man has created. He is completely, secretly overwhelmed behind closed doors. He's like one of those dogs that you want to pet, but then he just bites you back. She was also stuck by their lack of social skills. They live on the internet and don't know how to actually talk to people in real life. She recalls at an event, a birthday party that they were hosting. It was extremely weird because Andrew was on his laptop the entire time with 2 Thai girls massaging his shoulders. And
Well, like, I'm not gonna lie, that part actually sounds kind of like on brand for just getting massaged, like working while everybody else is partying and shit like that. But everything else is kind of surprising and quite interesting. You know, the panic that they actually have inside, the desperation, despite this macho, you know, charismatic, everything's under control illusion that they put out there online. So yeah, to go from that to now actually being in a prison or a prison interim situation, that's gotta suck for them, man. And I don't give one single fuck. But the plot thickens. I know. The DOJ says Tristan Tate may have a fraudulent Mexican passport under the alias Vladimir Scorpios. And if you remember, that is the name of a villain from a James Bond movie.
If I fuck up big time and England wants me in jail, I can fly on a Nigerian passport, or an American, or an English, or a Polish, or an Estonian. I have so many fucking passports. What, are you gonna block them all? I've got 4 more I haven't even named on YouTube. They can't stop me traveling. There's always a passport I can pull out. There's always a driver's license I can pull out. If you ban one, I've got another one.
So it looks like CoffeeZilla probably covered this. I'll have to check into that. But there is some evidence that Tristan Tate likewise maintains multiple identities and passports under false names. UK authorities have discovered an online post containing a photo of Mexican passport bearing Tristan Tate's photograph, date of birth, but issued under the name of Vladimir Scorpios, which you can see right here. I mean, you can't make this shit up. Who do these fucking guys think they are? They literally want to be James Bond villains, and I'm not even exaggerating. I'm not being hyperbolic. They fantasize about that. Either that or living out Grand Theft Auto in real life, and that's not just coming from me. That's literally coming from Andrew Tate. He tweets today: Bugattis, money, federal prison, prosecutors after you, street notoriety, professional fights, children with endless women. It's GTA 6. I live what everyone is waiting to play. Yeah, but only difference is GTA 6 will probably be released before 2027, unlike yourself. So yeah, everything's just looking pretty terrible for the Tates, and they don't seem to grasp the severity of it. And honestly, I don't feel bad for them one bit. They are scum of the earth. As a man, you have a duty, you have an honor even to protect and serve those who are more vulnerable and weak than yourself. You know, women, children, the elderly. And to think that you are above this common code of man and circumnavigate that and take advantage and exploit those people of vulnerability, it's the lowest of the low, and you need to pay the price and be held accountable. And that's exactly what's going to happen to you, Andrew and Tristan. So I hope you enjoyed the fame, the fortune, the freedom that you endured for so many years, because it's all coming to an end. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.